Hello, and welcome to another workout created by the bodybuilding practitioner, A.K.A. the Genius. Forever, gotta make it like a wave, and if you move it kind of back and forth, looks pretty cool. Be a genius. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is muscle flex overload. These are our illustrations. Okay, we're gonna do full range. We're gonna find our 8 rep range. With 8 reps, that's building. We're gonna have to find a pretty heavy weight. So this is our illustration. We're gonna do 5 sets. If you really want to push yourself, you can do that 6th set. Full range of motion, no chop of the motion, and we're gonna be moving up with our seconds with that muscle flex repetition. So here we go. This is it. So for our first set, we're gonna find our 8 rep range. Okay. One. The 8th rep, we're gonna hold for 10 seconds, muscle flex. We bring it down slow, and we hold at the bottom for 15 seconds. That is our first set. So we rest, 1 minute resting, and what I'd like to talk about while we're resting is what I've heard just recently, what I came across is progressive overload. That's a new term for me, but from what I understood from it was you have to make the workout harder than last time. I haven't looked this up myself. I just recently heard it, and but I didn't hear how. How do you progressively overload the muscle? My understanding on that was you have to like push the muscle harder than last time. Yeah, that's great, but how do you do it if your reps are the same? So let's say with this one, like a typical workout plan would be 8 reps like we did, and you do those same 8 reps for 5 sets. You can't, it'll be hard to progressively overload. And the fact that you have to wait until your very next workout for the progressive overload. With this muscle flex overload, with each set, we're trying to fatigue the muscle. We're trying to push the muscle harder. So I feel like that is working on that concept of progressively overloading, and we're using the muscle flex repetition. So that's very helpful. But I don't think there's another way better to do that. So so we move up with our time under tension for the muscle flex rep, and that's pushing the muscle harder. With that term that they use is the professionals is that progressive overload. You have to push the muscle harder than last time. You have to fatigue the muscle harder. You have to work the muscle that much harder. And I feel like with the muscle flex repetition, we are maximizing that concept. I didn't hear how. How do you do it? Like, what's the technique? All I heard was you have to push the muscle harder than last time. But do you have to wait until the end till you go to another workout session? What we should be doing is with each set trying to either increase reps or somehow increasing the time under tension, so we can make the workout much harder and fatigue the muscle, so we can get that hypertrophy, that muscle development. Okay. So we'll go to our second set. Another 8 reps. Muscle flex repetition is going to be 20 seconds, okay? With a challenging weight. Once we get to our heavier weights, the muscle flex repetition is really going to become that much harder. do our 8 reps, and we're gonna hold for 20 seconds. We bring it down slow, hold for 15 for time and attention for the set. And when you're doing the muscle flex repetition, you can always like have a workout partner help you count for your time, or you can bring a stopwatch. That'll help. But yeah, that muscle flex repetition's got that great potential. And even with lightweight, I feel it very challenging. On the negative, bringing it down, that's very challenging. With the weight, that's challenging. That's really gonna push you. So we just wait. About a minute for your rest period. Depending on how heavy you go. The heavier you go, you're gonna need more rest. So if you're using the lighter weight, I say a minute with light weight. If you're starting to go heavier in weight or trying to find your max muscle flex repetition, you're gonna need like 3 to 5 minutes for your rest period. And then so just the heavier you go, you need more time to recover. With the lightweight, especially if we're trying to gains, like for the hypertrophy, the muscle development, we're gonna need them. With lightweight, we're gonna need less time. So let's say a minute if we're really trying to push ourselves and get some good cardio. The muscle flex repetition, when I use my weights on it and cables, it's all cables for me. With that, yeah, I like about a minute, and I don't go that heavy anyway. My muscle flex repetition is like 35 max. So here we go. We're going to our third set. And of course, you got to do both biceps. Right now, this is a demonstration. Later, I'll show all my weights in the gym with cables. But the weight becomes very challenging. Like you can't go that heavy. I was surprised with the preacher curl division. That one I can't go that heavy. I've tried and I fatigue very fast. Once I get to the third step of the preacher curl division, that one, like I'm not going very heavy with that. So I like the preacher curl division. That was my favorite. And then the muscle flex repetition, that one's got great potential down there as well. Okay, so now we're into our third. So here we go. And of course, you got to work both biceps. Okay, this is just demonstration. So, and with the weight, I'm just trying to get my information out there because I feel like for us beginners, we need to find another way. There's always another way to do everything. And I feel like this is it for us beginners. We're into our third set. Here we go. 8 reps full range. Now we're going to increase. We're doing 30 seconds for our muscle flex rep. If you have a workout partner, you can have them count for you and just focus on what you're doing. And then if you can always bring a stopwatch. Also have your workout partner hold it for you. So you can just focus on what you're doing and really try to pick a weight that's challenging so you can really focus on the job that you're doing. Here we go. Third set, 8 reps, 30-second muscle flex repetition. We're moving up in time under tension so we can progressively overload. That's a new term for me, but I believe this is the technique for it. Here we go. Eighth rep, we're gonna do it for 30 seconds. You bring it down slow. 15 seconds, time and attention for the set. And you throw the weight. I like doing all this with cables because with cables you can adjust the weight so quickly. With dumbbells, you always gotta move over and stuff, you know. So we just have about a minute rest. But even with 5 pounds, it's challenging. You know, if you go move up to 15, 25 pounds, that muscle flex repetition is going to be really, really working on your cardio. That's what I noticed with the muscle flex repetition. It works a lot on my cardio. And of course, muscular endurance, because you have to hold it. And of course, it takes strength to hold the weight in that position. So I'll just give a little rest. Once you pick your challenging weights, because we're really trying to get our results as quick as possible. So that was our third set. Now we're going to go into our fourth set. Our fourth set, now we're going to hold for 40 seconds. Okay. If you have your workout partner, they can help you with holding, with counting your seconds, so you can make sure you focus on your job. And of course, you train both biceps. So here we go. 8 reps again, fourth set. We do our reps now, 40-second muscle flex repetition. Bring it down slow. Hold it for 15 at the bottom. And again, with just 5 pounds, it becomes very challenging, the muscle flex repetition. It's very challenging in that, and then bringing it down slowly, that's very challenging. So you're really going to be building. They say the most building that happens is on the negative, the lowering motion from the top. That's the most important part of the rep, because they say you're the strongest in that range of motion. The lift, moving the weight to a higher position, you're not as strong. But of course, that's what we do in the gym. We go to lift the weight. We move that weight to a higher position. We're not until the muscle flex repetition. Now we're moving it downwards. And I have a lot of other workouts that I haven't showed yet, and doing that same thing, starting from that muscle flex repetition, and we bring it down slowly. That's called a negative. So, but that's where maximum strength is. The lift, that's where we need to work. But that's what we do in the gym. We go to the lift the weight, and depending on where we are strength wise, we just have to make sure we're improving and finding all those techniques possible. So here we go, we're on to our 5th set. Now on our 5th set, we're gonna hold for 50 seconds. Okay, 50 seconds muscle flex repetition. You're really gonna be fatiguing now. Okay, I'm just doing this at 5 pounds, and my muscles already getting tired. My biceps, but 8 reps again. Now we're gonna do 50-second muscle flex repetition. Okay, you gotta really push yourself now. Eight reps now. We're gonna muscle flex now, 50 seconds. Once you reach the 50 seconds, bring it down slow. Bring it down very slow. Okay, hold for the bottom now. Time under tension for the set. Okay, and when you're holding the muscle flex repetition, it's almost like you're trying to keep moving in the range of motion. So it's almost like you're trying to do a 360. When you're holding the muscle flex repetition, almost imagine like you're still trying to make, like you're trying to make a 360 circle, so you don't lose that muscle contraction, you know, So when you're holding it, just pretend like you're trying to make a circle, 360 all the way down to the bottom, and that'll keep that muscle flex repetition as contracted as possible. So just pretend like you're still moving, you're moving the weight backwards, and you're trying to come down to the bottom, and you're doing a 360 circle. That'll help you keep that the muscle flexed as tight as possible. And of course, you're gonna fatigue, so you gotta count in as slowly as you can. You can always bring a workout partner. Make sure that they're counting for you, so you can just focus on your job and what you're doing. And you know, we're working the biceps with this one. But that's the thing as well. We don't have to just use this strictly for the biceps. That goes with all my exercises. We can use this for shoulders. We can use this for your back muscles. I would use this muscle flex overload exercise. I'd use it on my back because you're holding the weight for increased time, and I think that would be great. I would use this one for a back exercise. Bend over barbell rows, single dumbbell rows. I would use this muscle flex overload on my back on a day I want to work back in the gym. I would use that one. I would use this one right now. So depending on how you feel, depending on how heavy you go, you can stop at 5 sets. But just for demonstration purposes, we're gonna go to the 6th set, and that one's optional. So here we go. Do our 8 reps again. Now we're holding that muscle flex repetition for 60 seconds. We're holding for a minute now. And if you go heavy, that's gonna really tax you. Here we go. Here we go. You hold the weight. Pretend like you're still moving in a circular motion, trying to bring your wrist all the way down, like you're still moving backwards. Here we go, and you hold it as tight as you can. The heavier you go, this is going to become harder. That's what you have your workout partners for. They can always help you. Your elbows underneath the weight, and you really focus on your contraction. Now we're holding it for 60 seconds. Bring it down slow. You hold for 15 seconds for the time of tension for the set. That was pretty tough with 5 pounds. If you move up, it's going to become the hardest workout you've ever done. The muscle flex repetition will do that. And then if you're ever worried about where your elbow placement should be, what you could do is you can make a fist and put it in the back of your bicep. Okay? If you're ever worried about, if you ever feel it when you're doing your reps, if you ever feel like maybe you're moving a little bit, your elbow's moving forward or backward, you can always make a fist and put it in the back of your elbow. That's gonna increase the tension on the muscle because it's almost like you're pushing the muscle forward. The only thing you gotta do is be careful where you go with heavier weight because you can injure your elbow. So just if you do that with weight that's a little bit heavier, just make sure you lower as slowly as you can to try to make sure you don't injure your elbow. Because I did that on my last exercise when I was doing my weight. I put my elbow underneath just to increase the tension on the muscle, and I felt like I kind of injured my elbow because I was going very fast with the weight. So make sure you bring the weight up as fast as you can, hold for a second on your muscle contraction, and you bring it down slow. And you go especially slow if you use any sort of equipment that pushes your bicep forward. But you can always use your fist and do the same. But you're kind of exposing your elbow to injury, so you have to be careful. So that was our 6th set, and this was called a muscle flex overload. Okay, I'll show you again the illustration. Okay, just so you can see get a visual of what we're doing. Okay, full range, and we increase the muscle flex repetition with each set. Okay. All right, that's all for now. Thank you.